Hello, AP Psychers. I hope you all had a good weekend. I will be in Madison as you're watching this video, doing a little observation of some teachers. So I will miss you dearly, but we can still learn. It's okay. Um, Here's what we got for today. We're just going to finish up talking about, I think, the other four of the eight Erikson psychosocial stages. And then you'll just get time at the end of class or not even end, like midway through class, to hopefully go through and work on your scrapbook and start applying Piaget and Erikson stages, since those are more fresh in your mind. So that's the game plan for today. So let's pick up where we left off. So remember, we said that Erikson was very influenced by Freud. He's like a neo-Freudian from the psychodynamic perspective. And similar to Freud's psychosexual stages, right? We say that there's kind of a challenge you have to overcome in each stage. And if you don't successfully meet that, you get kind of that fixation type thing where, you have some kind of problem by not successfully overcoming this challenge. So we left off on stage 4. We said industry versus inferiority, ages 6 through puberty. So this is kids in elementary school, we said, trying to show off and have self-efficacy in their abilities, whether it be knowing the most about multiplication tables or sports, or for my case, it was having to know all the swear words in different languages on the playground. I don't know why. But again, trying to show self-efficacy in your different abilities and skills, whether it be sports or music or whatever it is. So if you meet that, you feel self-efficacy, you have high self-esteem, you feel confident in your abilities. But if you don't meet that, we said you're going to have low self-esteem, you're going to feel inferior and just have this lack of confidence in your skills and abilities moving forward. And that's not healthy, right? We said that any humanist would say that self-esteem is that key building block to having that self-actualization and, having a healthy and fulfilling life. All right, so let's get to the new ones. So looky here, this is what you guys are in, stage 5. So once you graduate out of industry inferiority, you reach on to identity versus role confusion, which lasts from your teens to 20s. And this is what y'all are going through right now. I bet you can resonate. So as a teenager, you probably know that the whole crisis is like, who am I? And I remember in high school, like trying out, it's identity versus role confusion. So you're trying out a bunch of different roles. Like the amount of different things I thought I was in high school was a lot. Like there was a day I'm like, I'm preppy, I'm cool. Ooh, I'm gonna be rebellious this day, or like I am gonna be like a skater, which that was like maybe a day, right? So there's so many different roles that you're trying on. Are you gonna be sporty spice? Are you gonna be this? High school is all about trying on roles and figuring out like who you are, what your interests are, what kind of people you vibe with, what your goals are, what you want to do in life. So it's trying on all those different roles and figuring that out. And it's not a bad thing at all. And I think there'll be questions about this on your test. But trying on roles is not a bad thing. It's a healthy thing. And that's what you're supposed to be doing during this time. And if we successfully get through this crisis, this stage of who am I, then you hopefully have tried on enough roles to figure out which one fits you. So in this case, if you successfully meet this, you gain a sense of a secure identity. You know your role, you know where you fit comfortably in society and who you are, right? That secure identity. So if you do not meet this, though, you might be kind of lost and aimless. You might not know who you are. And another important thing to note is that this can lead to consequences, especially if you are pushed into identity. Maybe your parents are pushing you into something that you're not, or whatever. Society's pushing you into something you don't want to be. That's what can lead to rebelling. So that's something that also might be on your test, according to this one, is that if we are forced into an identity, we might end up kind of rebelling when we're pushed into a certain role. But again, yeah, if you don't meet this, right, you're going to feel lost, you're going to feel aimless, you're going to feel confused because you can't figure out what your role is in life. But I'm here. I made it through identity versus role confusion, so I'm semi-okay, so that's good. So now we get to stage 6, which is intimacy versus isolation. And this is from your 20s to early 40s. So guess I'm in this stage. But I laugh at this stage because I'm like, okay, this is 20s to early 40s. Your 20s are very different than your 30s, than your 40s. So it's kind of encompassing a lot of different things here. But before I get into all of this and what's going on here, I do want to say, because I think your 20s are different than your 30s and your 40s, Erikson didn't coin this, but this is a vocab term that we do need to know. The beginning of this stage would be considered emerging adulthood. And this is kind of the period from early 20s or like very late teens to your mid 20s. So basically what I'm going through right now in life. So it's kind of like the moment you graduate high school through kind of mid 20s, so about like 18 to maybe 25, 26, whatever. So this is just a period where you are now trying to figure out how it all works as an adult. So kind of that gap as you're learning to navigate the adult world. You're no longer under the roof of your parents. You're starting to learn how to do those adulty things of paying taxes, having a real deal job, living on your own, paying rent, getting your car's emissions tested, making doctor's appointments for yourself, right? All those little things and more that come with, navigating the beginnings of adulthood. So that's a term that you can write and you'll apply to yourself in your scrapbook as well. But going back to this stage of intimacy versus isolation, the challenge here is we're trying to, find our lives with others. We're trying to form intimate relationships, and these could be platonic, meaning like emotional intimacy. You're just trying to like find, your people. But it also could be, finding that partner for life romantically and forming an intimate relationship. But again, the key thing here really is more towards like emotional intimacy and finding someone that you can really, be that partner in life with and like share with. So here, trying to form intimate relationships and gain the capacity to love. So if we meet this, we can form meaningful relationships. Again, that could be platonic or romantic. But we are leaving this stage feeling like we found at least meaningful relationships and maybe found that, the one, found someone that we can form a joint identity with and live out our lives and be happy and in love. Oh, I'm so happy. And have a committed relationship. If we don't meet this, you might experience isolation or loneliness, right? You're seeing all your friends and people in your life fall in love and form relationships, and you're not, and that might be isolating and lonely. But that's what this stage is all about. So it's all about finding those people that you can be emotionally intimate with, and hopefully finding a partner for life if that's something that you are interested in here. So once you've done that, and hopefully you have found a happy person or someone that makes you happy and fulfilled, now we enter stage 7, which is generativity versus stagnation. So this is your 40s through 60s. So now it's all about how are you contributing and leaving your mark on this world. So you're really trying to like find meaning in like, what have I done to contribute and actually make the world a better place? This could be done through multiple means. Are you doing it through your family that you're creating and building? Are you doing it through your work? Are you doing it through how you volunteer and your hobbies, right? It could be many different things, but just finding something that makes you feel fulfilled and that you are contributing to the world and leaving your mark. That's generativity, is kind of that feeling of being productive and contributing, whatever that looks like for you, right? Right, creating things that outlast you, whether it's your family or leaving your mark through your work or your hobbies and stuff. So if we meet this successfully, we're going to feel useful and just have that sense of accomplishment and feel like, again, we are actually contributing and making a difference and leaving our mark. My TikToks never work. Probably some girl putting on makeup, but the TikTok I put was a cat making biscuits because they're being productive, and that's giving them a sense of meaning. Stagnation, though, you might feel, again, useless and unproductive, that your life lacks meaning if you can't find those things that make you feel fulfilled, again, whether it's family or work or whatever. So you might just have that midlife crisis here where you just feel like you haven't done anything and the time's ticking, right? The clock is ticking. Then finally, we have integrity versus ego despair, which is stage 8. So this is about late 60s retirement age and through death. Womb to tomb, right? That's his theories here. Covers you from birth to death. So it's in this stage that now you're getting older. You've lived your life. So you're reflecting and thinking about, have I lived a successful life? Have I, done things I'm proud of? So if you meet this stage, or if you successfully overcome this stage, you can die and look back on your life and feel content. You felt like you've lived your life to the fullest, and are satisfied and have a sense of completeness and fulfillment, right? You have integrity, feeling that lived a successful life. But if you haven't met this, and maybe you have regrets, you feel, you can think like it kind of even connects back to generativity, right? You feel like you haven't contributed, you feel like you haven't built, going back to stage 6, you haven't found those fulfilling relationships and people who make you happy, or you haven't done all these things, then right, you might feel guilt and despair, and feel sad at the end of your life that you haven't lived it to the fullest. Ooh. But that's stage 8. So we see again, womb to tomb. That's Erikson. So just have a little bit of an idea of what's happening and the key challenge that goes with each of these stages. So what you guys are doing is spending the rest of class today working on your developmental scrapbook. So go ahead and add in your stages for Erikson and Piaget and connect those to your own life. I gave my example. I think I connected myself to Erikson's intimacy versus isolation. I talked about emerging adulthood. So give relevant examples from your life, right? Try to be specific. Right? For you guys, like currently you're in identity versus role confusion. So maybe that's you talking about some of the different roles that you've tried on as a high schooler, right? Like, oh, I did football freshman year. Now I did this, and I did this activity, but now I'm doing this, right? So kind of talk about that. Be specific. The more specific you guys can be in applying these things to yourself, the better you're going to understand that. So that's all I have for you. I hope that class goes well. I miss you all. I'll see you all on Wednesday. Bye.